Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Today we will discuss something about the mega classic poem by William Wordsworth, Daffodils. I would like to speak something about the most hypnotizing, beautiful, magnificent creation of nature. It's all about daffodils, a very, very beautiful flower. It blossoms from जो April to October in London society. It's very famous for its enchanting golden color and sweet fragrance. And in my past video already I have given the introduction about the poet, about the poem, source of the poem, what actually the message wants to convey William Wordsworth through the volume, through this poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Already I have told you William Wordsworth is known as one of the most eminent and extraordinary romantic poet of romantic era in London society. Actually, he and his best friend Mr. Coleridge, they both of them introduced the romantic era in English society, in English literature especially. And for his tremendous contribution, for his tremendous classic contribution in English literature, he remained continuously for 5-6 years as the poet laureate of London Society of English Literature. And in Daffodils you can find the message is very clear. Whatever, my dear reader, as your teacher I want to convey the message what actually William Wordsworth wants to convey the message through the beautiful volume Daffodils. In Daffodils he wants to convey the idea whenever a person is fascinated, whenever a person is attracted by the beauty of nature, by the wonders of nature, then the beauty of nature gives or provides immense satisfaction and pleasure to mind and heart, which is eternal, which is permanent, which is incredible in nature. So dear, it's very clear, whatever something ever, nature is best among other. Then in my past video already I have given what actually the works, what actually the figures of speech, what actually it makes, why the literary people, why poet or literary people takes the help of figures of speech in English society or in writings. Especially figures of speech are two categories. One is the words which are used to express the ordinary meanings to make the writing more complex, more superb, more colorful, more subtle, more extraordinary. They are considered to be simile, metaphor, hyperbole. But the words which are used for ordinary arrangement in writings, like the words such as alliteration, antithesis, ellipsis, one by one we will discuss what actually we mean by simile, metaphor, hyperbole, alliteration, one by personification, one by one we will discuss, because these terms makes the volumes, makes the contribution, make the writings more substantial, more superb, more outstanding in nature. In Daffodils you can find one day the poet talks about while he was moving, while he was wandering aimlessly from here to there, from this corner to that corner in English countryside, suddenly on his way he saw a crowd, means unlimited blooming charming golden daffodils in English countryside. Then before discussing, before covering stanza 1 or stanza 2, I would like to speak something about William Wordsworth and his contributions. Finally, you can find he is very famous for his romantic view. He is very famous for his writings. One of the mega poem of William Wordsworth is Solitary Reaper. You can find it's all about the rural traditional cultural value. Then in Daffodils, the poet talks about actually in literature you can find many things are there, non-fiction writing, drama, novel, poetry, many things are there. Literature means what actually? One cannot define literature. It is all about a very broad term. What actually we encompasses, like you can find what actually we read, hear, see, observe, experience. It's all about literature. So it's a vast era, it's something unique term, it's broad one, but finally poetry is best among the other volumes, because in a poetry you can find it is all about the grievances, the difficulties, the sorrowful circumstances, the miserable condition, revelation, moment, then about you can find all about the non-cooperation, then nostalgia, friendship, mutual love and affection, everything you can find in poetry. Because whenever you can find a poet writes poem especially, then in one maximum in 1 to 4 stanza you can find something unique message, something incredible message to the all reader all about the world. So in a poetry you can find it is all about the grievances, the difficulties, the miserable condition, about all about the day-to-day incidents, circumstances you can find in a poetry. And whenever William Wordsworth became the poet laureate in London Society, and people asked him what actually you mean by poetry, finally William Wordsworth defined poetry is nothing never, but it's something ever, whatever. It is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings which arises in the state of tranquility. That means he seemed to convey the idea, because if you will observe carefully in past stanza, you can find he talks about, I wander lonely as a cloud on high over vales and hills. Suddenly I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake and beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. That means you can find he talks about sorry for my interval. Actually he talks about while I was wandering in English countryside. Wandering means moving from here to there aimlessly on high over valleys and hills. That means he talks about, he has made a beautiful like taking the help of simile. He talks about I was wandering like a lonely cloud on high over valleys and hills. Suddenly I saw a crowd. Crowd means here it is all about unlimited charming blooming daffodils. And whenever I saw the unlimited charming blooming daffodils in English countryside beside the lake and beneath the trees, then he talks about due to the cold wind and the flow of wind, it helps the daffodils especially to make dance with each other. They were like moving backward to forward, they were dancing joyfully. Breeze means cold wind, and here you can find the poet talks about due to the cold wind the daffodils were dancing with each other joyfully. Then in second stanza already I have discussed in my past video. That means after seeing unlimited charming blooming dancing daffodils in English countryside beside the lake and under the trees, the poet talks about continuous as the stars they shine on the Milky Way, they stretched upon a never-ending line along the margin of a way. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Look at, in second stanza the poet has made a beautiful comparison, beautiful similarity, beautiful resemblance between taking unlimited daffodils on his own account, taking unlimited uncountable stars, shining stars of sky. That means in night time whenever we observe, you can find unlimited shining stars are there. They were situated on a Milky Way, on a galaxy manner, on a circular way, like unlimited uncountable shining stars in sky. Unlimited charming blooming golden daffodils were situated or stretched or covered in never ending line. Means you can find whenever we observe from one part of the sea from another part to the end part. That means you can find whenever we are unable to make the exact observation to find how much like you can find the distance what actually it's all about, but it is very hard text for us to especially mark the point. So like this unlimited charming blooming daffodils were stretched upon in never ending line along the margin of a bay. Means especially it's bay means ocean, it's all about one part of the sea to another part of the sea. Like this you can find whenever the poet made his attempt to see the unlimited charming blooming daffodils, they were situated, they were especially located in never ending line along the margin of a bay. That means unlimited uncountable charming blooming hypnotizing fascinating daffodils are there. That means it is very clear the beautiful absolutely fascinating scenery of a charming blooming daffodils each you can find a source of happiness, is a source of joyness for the poet's mind and heart. Then he talks about while I was wondering, then while I was enjoying joyfully the beauty of charming blooming daffodils, that means suddenly an idea came to my mind. He talks about, that means he has taken the help of to especially bring out the attention of the reader to make the poem especially more subtle and extraordinary. He has taken the help of hyperbole, that means exaggeration, dramatization. like the word you can find, he talks about on my first attempt. It may be you can find prediction, it may be about dramatization of the poet. He talks about 10,000 saw I at a glance. That means on my first attempt, on my first observation, I saw 10,000 daffodils are there. That means how much daffodils are there? It's all about unlimited, in never-ending line. Such a long way you can find daffodils were covered. Then the poet talks about due to the flow of cold wind, the very top part of the daffodils were making contact with each other and they were dancing lively. That means you can find a very happy and a very, like you can find such a jubilant, such a jolly atmosphere was there. So the poet was enjoying a lot both mentally and spiritually. Then in third stanza you can find the poet talks about, actually while enjoying the beauty of a daffodil staying in the English countryside, the poet talks about in third stanza, the waves beside them dance out at the sparkling waves. Then the poet talks about a poet could not but be gay in such a drunken company. I gazed and gazed but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. In third stanza you can find it's all about something interesting. The poet talks about while I was enjoying the beauty of charming blooming daffodils, another natural beauty was there. That was all about the sparkling dazzling waves. Like there was a lake in first stanza you can find the poet talks about the charming blooming dancing golden daffodils were situated beside the lake and under the trees. So there was a lake. In this lake you can find sparkling dazzling colorful waves, just you can find were coming. So the poet talks about I was very happily, joyfully, I was enjoying the beauty of daffodils. I had forgotten all about my past, because past gives us sorrowness. Do not think about past, my dear. So finally, the poet talks about while I was enjoying the beauty of charming blooming daffodils, another natural circumstances was there. That was all about the sparkling dazzling waves. Then the poet talks about a poet could not but be gay in such a drunkard company. That means the poet talks about while I was enjoying the beauty of daffodils, I had totally forgotten, I had absolutely forgotten, I had extremely vanished my sorrowful, my loneliness, my like you can find melancholiness from my mind and heart, because I was the happiest person of the world, because while I was enjoying the beauty of daffodils, my mind and heart filled with pleasure. We'll discuss ahead. Finally, he talks about then a poet could not but be gay. That means the poet talks about a poet could not but be gay. That means taking the beauty of charming, blooming, dancing daffodils on its own account, the poet wants to convey the idea like taking or getting the beauty of daffodils as my finest charm and charm of the world. A poet could not but be gay in such a drunkard company. Drunkard means merry or joy or happy friend. The friend who gives or provides happiness or satisfaction to mind and heart, known as a drunkard company. So here the beauty of daffodils is compared as the drunkard company of the poet. Then the poet talks about while I enjoyed a lot while I was in English countryside, then no thought came to my mind and heart. Only I was thinking, only I was observing daffodils again and again. Then the poet talks about no thought came to my mind. Little thought means no thought came to my mind. Only I was sincerely thinking, sensibly thinking about the beauty of charming daffodils. Then the poet talks about what wealth the soul to me had brought. That means here wealth means not about property, money or something. It's all about immense satisfaction, immense pleasure, immense satisfaction, permanent joyness, permanent happiness to mind and heart. That means the poet wants to convey the idea what actually the beauty of daffodils had given to my mind and heart is unexplainable, it's incredible in nature. These are the joyful happiness, the joyful experience, the joyful and happy experience to my mind and heart. Satisfaction, immense pleasure, permanent peace, eternal peace, incredible experience came to his mind and heart, which is very, very incredible and unexplainable for the poet. That means the beauty of daffodils had given me a lot, which is unexplainable for me. Then in last stanza you can find the poet talks about, actually in last stanza you can find he enjoyed a lot, he became very happy. After becoming very happy, now time for him to go to his home, to go to his room. So finally he returned to his home, he returned to his room and he like took rest on his own home. And especially while he was like I am just reciting the last stanza. For up when on my couch I lie, in blanket or pensive mood, they pass in my inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, then my heart feels with pleasure and I dances with the daffodils. It's all about last stanza. Actually, the poet enjoyed a lot. He returned to his home. Now time for him, especially it's all about night time. You can say, finally, the poet talks about, especially for often means for often, regularly it happens with me. Couch means sofa bed. Especially the poet talks about now time for me to take rest on my own sofa bed. Night time, you can say in Odia, because sometimes you should take Odia. It's very Odia among other my dear. So finally, Nijhum Nistabda Ratira Prahari. कवि चेष्टा करुले सोफा उपरे गभीर निद्रा देवीर चेन रे बांधि हवा पाई. Suddenly the poet talks about what actually happened. It regularly happens with me when I take rest on my own sofa bed. Night time, I was ready to make a deep slumber on my own sofa bed. Suddenly the beauty of charming blooming daffodils. Suddenly the beauty of these hypnotizing scenery. Suddenly the beauty of charming blooming daffodils appeared in my inward eye. Actually, you can find, we generally have two eyes, left and right, but you can find three eyes. One is inward eye. Especially it helps us to see, or especially to see sweet dreams. That means I can give you example. I saw a sweet dream in my inward eye. So finally you can find the poet talks about whenever I was ready to make a deep slumber on my own sofa bed, it may be blanket or pensive state of mind. In this poem, you can find the poet has given a clear-cut idea, clear-cut information about the two state of mind. One is vacant, another was pensive. Vacant means no thought, pensive means full of thoughts. It may be about full of thoughts, it may be about no thoughts. On my own sofa bed, regularly in night time, on my sofa bed, it happens with me whenever time for me to take rest. Night time, they was ready to make a deep slumber, but suddenly the beauty of charming, blooming, fascinating daffodils, the beautiful scenery appeared in my inward eye. So whenever I saw the beautiful scenery in my inward eye on my own sofa bed in night time, then my heart fills with pleasure. That means you can find it is all about powerful imagination, powerful contact, mutual love and affection. Attraction, you can say. That means a strong bonding, a classic bonding was there between the poet and the beautiful scenery of charming blooming golden daffodils. That means the poet talks about whenever I saw the beautiful scenery, the hypnotizing scenery of charming blooming golden daffodils on my inward eye, on my own sofa bed in night time, then my heart and mind fills with pleasure, and I especially made dance with the dancing mood of the daffodils. And why it happened with me? Because of the state of lowliness, the bliss of lowliness. Bliss means you can find immense gift, immense impact of lowliness. That means due to the loneliness, due to especially great attachment, you can say, it is all about like addiction, you can say, attachment, you can say. That means the poet was a great asik, the poet was a great lover, true lover of charming blooming golden daffodils. So whenever I saw the hypnotizing scenery in my inward eye on my own sofa bed in night time, whenever I was ready to make a deep slumber, then the beautiful scenery appears in my inward eye. Whenever I think, whenever I saw the beautiful scenery in my inward eye, then my heart and mind fills with pleasure, and I made dancing with the dancing mood of the daffodils. That's all about Daffodils by William Wordsworth, a mega poem, your first poem. Finally, my dear students, go through the stanza one by one, read it carefully, find out the new words, read accordingly, then write the stanza one by one accordingly, the description, like narrative answer, try to write. Then read carefully, again read like a smart reader, do not waste your time, be focused, because it's a global language, it will help you to like represent yourself in future as an eminent speaker, as an eminent scholar. So finally in Daffodils you can find the poet talks about whenever a person is fascinated by the beauty of charming blooming daffodils, it gives or provides immense pleasure and satisfaction to mind and heart. That means William Wordsworth talks about, dear reader, it's nothing never but something ever, whatever, I love nature best among other. That means the beauty of nature is incredible in especially nature. That's all about Daffodils by William Wordsworth. In my past video you can find I have told all about the grammatical system. I have given the introduction about William Wordsworth. I have already told you what actually the role, the characteristic of figures of speech and the words like alliteration, antithesis and ellipsis, what actually the contribution, what actually the role of these terms in English literature whenever the people try to write poem or some other volumes or other writings, what actually the works of these terms already I have told you. That means now time for especially me to come in my next video regarding the grammatical system. It may be about active and passive and conditional clause. In video 3 I will give the useful data and information about the grammatical system. It is all about conditional clause and active and passive. So finally, viewers and my dear readers, please read Daffodils carefully, try to understand it carefully or accordingly, read stanza wise and try to find out the new words and understand it briefly, what actually the poem is all about, what actually the message, who actually the character, what actually the source of the poem. Already I have told you, read carefully, and after watching the video, please like, subscribe my channel and have a good time, have a good day. Thank you all of you.